They gon' need a couple of my thoughts, man. They don't ask me for my joints too often. Gotta give them something to keep them talking. But what they do not know is I'm a boss. My 2 cents, I got them. My 2 cents, I give them. My 2 cents, don't doubt them. My 2 cents is realer. My 2 cents, I got them. My 2 cents, I give them. My 2 cents, don't doubt them. My 2 cents is realer. You ain't asked us for it, but we give it anyway. This the real 2 cent show. Go get them, Lady J.
Welcome to The Real 2 Cents. You didn't ask us for it, but we give it to you anyway. Real topics discussed by real people who give their real 2 cents. And I'm your host, Lady J. And today's topic is how to repair the Black family unit. And my guest today is none other than Jermaine Jernigan. We have been friends for, let's see, our daughters are 17 years old, probably like 18 years.
Right, long time.
Long time. We are known for having some deep conversations.
Absolutely.
So, and him being a Black man himself, a husband, a father, an entrepreneur, a mentor, I thought that this would be a great topic for us two to tackle because we've talked about stuff like this, in the past and continue to do so. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And so, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Wow. I always get nervous when it comes down to this, but as you said, my name is Jermaine Jernigan. I'm from East Chicago, Indiana, which is a small little ghetto, probably right next to ghetto, in between Gary and Chicago. I got my criminal justice degree from Indiana University. I then got my master's from the old ITT. And then I got another master's from Indiana Wesleyan. So I try to get my knowledge on. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, owner of 2 businesses, the Hope Institute, which is my nonprofit for young people. And then I have the Hope Youth and Family Developmental Services, LLC, which is more of the family-oriented business to where we try to empower and educate people.
Awesome. So, I don't know why Journey. Listen, he was the head of a radio show, so I don't even know why he reacted.
I mean,
nervous.
It's been a long time.
Camera, though. Yeah, it has been a long time. It's been a long time. So it's just me and you here having a conversation.
I got you.
So, how to repair the Black family unit. So we can both agree,
right?
That the Black family unit is nowhere near as strong or intact as it was 20, 30 years ago.
Absolutely.
And let's be honest, there's a war on masculinity, and especially on Black men.
Yes.
So tell me, in your own words or your perspective, why do you think that there is such a strong drive on trying to eradicate masculinity?
That's a good question. Well, I really think it kind of goes back to, I guess, the civil rights, even before that, slavery. If you remove the Black man, from the family, then, you kind of take away the strength of the family a little bit. You take away the security of the family. You take away the protection of the family. Now, that's not saying that there are not some women that can hold their own. I'm just saying just as structure, when you remove that vital piece, then, that's kind of like the foundation. If you take away the foundation of a house, then it can't stand.
Right.
And so I think now it's been going on, forever. When you talk about the prison, the pipeline, you're talking about now homosexuality. It was like, everybody was in the closet. Now, when you look at popular TV shows like Empire had a situation to where, that was almost every season. And it's some, and it's some more shows like that. So I think if you try to downplay the man, then I think you kind of weaken the Black race as a whole.
I agree. I think that you talked about the pipeline to prison, even like if we go far as back as slavery, buck breaking, for those of you who don't know what that is, the slave master used to take the biggest, strongest men and pull their pants down, bend them over, and rape them in front of all the slaves.
Right.
And as to say, I own him, and if any of y'all try it, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So trying to diminish the level of respect of the head or the leader. And, and the way God created men and women, the man is considered the head,
Right.
the leader, the protector. Men are stronger than us because they're supposed to protect us,
Absolutely.
So I think that one of the major things that in today's society that I see that adds to that, because let's be honest, we are a culturally traumatized people.
Okay.
And it continues, it just looks different.
Right.
Right. Slavery, where, we were in chains and all, last names changed and being branded and stuff happened hundreds of years ago. But I mean, let's be honest, the Civil Rights Act, it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
That was just in the 60s.
Yeah.
So, and now with this war on masculinity, you have them trying to eradicate gender, which really can't be done.
Right.
I mean,
They try.
basically having a God complex, trying to eradicate gender, trying to, Black women are the only women who are taught that they don't need their men. You never hear Asian women, white women, Hispanic women, Latino women, European women. None of them are taught that they don't need their men.
Right.
And so when we look at that, how do you think that we as a people, or you as men, as Black men, can help Black women to understand or educate them in understanding why it's important not to embrace that narrative that you all aren't needed?
I think that's the $1 million question. I think because women have held it down for a long time. I'm a product, of a single family home, and my mom was the breadwinner. I think that, we have been absent for so long and women have had to take on that responsibility. It's hard to kind of tell people to fall back. I mean, it's almost like, if you got your own spot, you just ain't gonna let somebody come in and just start telling you what to do in your spot, that you pay the bills at and everything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard. And I really can't blame women because some women have been hurt. They've been traumatized, as you said earlier. And so for them to trust another Black man, it is hard. But in order for us to get the Black man back into the home, I think the Black woman does have to relinquish a little bit of the control that they've always been having. And at the same time, learn to trust the Black man a little bit more. Because even though I've been married 20 years, I still need my wife to stroke me sometime and tell me I'm doing well,
right,
and encourage me. Because sometimes, even being married 20 years, I feel like, like I'm a lion in the cage, like I just gotta go out and do something crazy, but then I always gotta pull myself back, if that makes sense to anybody.
Right. So I think another aspect, though, is that we as Black women have to learn to understand, too, your trauma and struggle. Because it's one thing, we can't walk around as if we're the only ones that are traumatized culturally and individually. Right. Because, yes, unfortunately, the Jim Crow law has continued to work for all this time. And it as time goes by, it just evolves differently and looks differently. But if you really think about it, you all, like I said, when we talked about the buck breaking, you turning each other against each other, whether it be color or by status, money, so you all have been taught, the Black man has been taught that if you don't have money, then you're nobody. Yeah. So that's why we glorify materialistic things. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Money. And now we're killing for it. You know what I'm saying? We'll feed poison to our own kids, our own mothers, just for it. Right. Also, with that, too, that you all haven't, you all haven't learned how to properly, I'll say, like show your feelings.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? You're emotionally, I say bogged down.
Let me just say this. You know what I'm saying? We're not taught to express ourselves. Yeah. I mean, we're taught to go out there and, go out there and get it head on. If you get a cut or a bruise, get up, wipe yourself off, and keep on going. Especially in our community, when it comes down to mental health, we don't like doctors as it is. And now you want us to go and talk to somebody about our mental health. And us as black folks, or I am gonna make that generalization. We just don't like to tell people our problems.
Right.
And I try to tell people all the time. Well, I at least tell my wife, I have feelings too. Because a lot of times I'm always addressing my wife's feelings,
right,
and I suppress my own. And I always use like the pop can scenario. I mean, I get shook up, I get bounced around, and then as soon as I begin to express myself, I'm spewing on everything and everybody around me. People that don't have nothing to do with anything, just because I'm always trying to worry about my wife's feelings, and I try to not tell so much about my own.
Right. I think that is that's a good point too. That like I said, we have to be more understanding too, that, what I'm saying, you all feel things too. But I think the black men and the black women, though, have both been taught that we have to suck it up. Just suck it up and keep it moving. Like, it may hurt, and I think that the fact that we have been taught that we don't need our men, and then being provided things to replace the black man, like welfare, we see it because we have a impoverished mindset.
Okay.
And so I think that when you bring things like that into it, and then allow black women to have more access to education and higher paying jobs, than black men, then you're basically like setting her up to make her believe the hype that, this man isn't needed. But then where we tend to miss the flags are, okay, you might be making quite a bit of money. You might be taking care of these kids, you know what I'm saying, by yourself, but now you out here posing half naked on social media and sleeping with several different men because you want to be loved. Or you having all these kids because you want somebody to love you back.
Right.
And there are so many other things that I could say about women, because I'm a woman and I've been there, what I'm saying, but I've never had the mindset that I don't need a man. And being a woman who has been hurt by a black man, abused and, lied to, cheated on, all that, I still understand the fact that we need each other. Right. It's the way that God created.
Yeah.
And so when you begin to give black women those things and replace those things, how can black men help the woman to understand that, or I'll say, help her see his value, even though she has those things? Because replacing him with those things, you're not really replacing him, because the black man is irreplaceable.
Right.
So, and helping her understand that when you have that mindset too, that's the same thing that you're teaching your kids. You're teaching your sons that they aren't valuable.
Right. Well, I mean, hopefully, they've had a lot of these conversations prior to getting married. I didn't have a lot of conversation when I got married. It was more or less, I liked her, she liked me, and we'll figure it out as we go. Just by the grace of God, we were able to make it, this far. But I do think that those conversations, like I heard you talk on the last time, like how many kids you want to have, like what's your credit report? Have you ever been in jail? I mean, what's your long-term plan? I heard somebody say that in a marriage, you should have a mission statement. You should have a mission statement, and you should plan like 5 years out. Like, where do you want to, where do you want to be? I never thought about that. I mean, it was just more or less, we get together, let's just hope it works out. But I guess, to answer your question, it's just, I would think that those conversations need to be held ahead of time, that you're not jumping into a relationship just to get married. Because a lot of people kind of get into a relationship because they want to get married. And that's all they have is so they have what we call, I guess it's tunnel vision. They see all the signs, but at the same time, I'm going to marry this person. And if you don't have those conversations, I think it's hard to tell the person after the fact what you want, or you try to get them to, be the kind of person that you want them to be. All this stuff needs to be taken care of at the forefront, I think. And that's just my opinion.
Right. I'll say as a group, as the African American community, what would you like to see happen between men and women to start? I'll say to start the conversation, or start us in the right direction, and understanding that we're not enemies. The black man is not the enemy of the black woman, and the black woman is not the enemy of black man. What do you think should take place, or what would be your suggestion to at least get that started?
And I know this is a very broad answer I'm gonna give you, but I think we need to press the reset button. Most things that we have of value, whether it's electronics or something, there's always like a reset button, because things go wrong and you got to get it, back to how it was built.
Right.
I think we have to press the reset button. We've gotten away from that because I remember my grandparents, grandma worked, granddaddy worked, but it was a certain respect. It was kind of like a teamwork that went forth. Like when granddaddy sleep, kids, y'all quiet.
Right.
Because he got to get up and go to work.
Exactly.
I mean, when it's time to fix food, he got fed first because he had to go back to sleep so he could prepare.
Same thing in my grandma's household.
Nowadays, it's like, I don't know. It's like it's all out of whack a little bit now.
Chaotic.
So, plus at the same time now, we got the media, we got radio, we got television again, as we talked about. Like you got Megan Thee Stallion, and I like Megan. But you got those kind of music that says, have a dude drop a coin, drop a bag, and that's all you need from them. But then you got the other rappers that say, you just keep on hitting them, keep on adding to your hit count. So it's like, these are the young people that's coming up, idolizing this stuff, looking at this stuff, and that's the image that they're getting. Whereas I think for my generation, I'm 48, I still had a little bit of the old teaching from my grandparents, and that time. So I think we have to press the reset. Even with that, then you got people that's out of their roles. Now, I'm not bashing nobody's lifestyle, but you got women that's acting like men. You got men that act like women. I get it. I mean, that's just what we are. But I just think overall, we just need to push the reset button. We need to look back at our heritage, at our history, and we need to start over a lot of times.
Do you feel like the black men, or I'll say as a whole, do you feel like they have pretty much just given up? Like we're getting beat up and beat down and talked down about, on the media, on, police, and now, even our women, like we just constantly getting it like, you know what, just forget it. No.
I had a conversation with a buddy the other day. I think I'm seeing more guys step up to the plate now than I had before. I see more guys spending time with their kids. I see more guys trying to be, family men. It's just not probably publicized as much as the negative side of it. But yeah, I got a lot of friends that's, I'm going to say that's kind of doing, what I'm doing. Staying married, staying out the way, and just trying to raise our kids and just kind of, help the overall cause of everybody.
How can we slow down? Or what role can black men play in the younger black men's lives to help slow down the war on masculinity? Like, how you have kids and you're teaching the child that, or speaking into them, you're beautiful, you're smart, you can do anything. Don't ever let nobody tell you blah, blah, blah. How can like black men help slow down the war on masculinity by, I'll say, counteracting what society is teaching or what society is trying to push?
Man, we got to spend time with our young people. I think where we kind of, okay, let me take you back. I keep saying my age. I remember even back in the day, even the guys in the neighborhood who were selling dope, who were pimps, who were doing wrong, they made sure that I was not down there on the block doing the same thing. And if I was, they gave me an earful, as well as told my parents when I got home, so I got it from them again. I think now there's a disconnect because we're afraid of these Thundercats. These Thundercats out here, I mean, you can't even look at them wrong. You can't bump into them and say thank you without them. Now they want to get aggressive. Now, I actually work with young boys, and I've had people tell me, oh, good luck with him. He's going to be hell. You ain't going to be able to reach him. But a lot of times, all they need is a little bit of time and somebody to actually show an interest in them. Give them a voice to be able to, be able to express themselves. I've turned some of the roughest, toughest dudes that I thought was going to give me hell into a guy that calls me every week. Hey, are we meeting? So I think you just got to spend time. You got to take a chance. I was fortunate that, I had somebody take a chance on me. So I think it's only right for us to try to take a chance on somebody else. But a lot of people are scared of these Thundercats because you never know how they're going to react to a situation.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and and working with youth myself, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But you find out though that there are things going on behind closed doors,
Yes.
just like things were going on behind closed doors when we were young. And I think that it's important for us to recognize as Black men and women too, that the way that we run our households, the things that we expose our children to, the things that we overlook, play a role in that as well. So you got a lot of Black women out here angry that they say all the hoes are getting all the love, you know what I'm saying, and getting wifed up, and then you got the then you have the Black men, then you have the Black men not really valuing, marriage or being a family man, or skipping out. So, but in that, I think that it's important for us to learn how to deal with our emotions maturely, because when you have Black women withholding time from between the father and kids, just because he don't want to be with you, like learning how to get all this stuff. There's so much trauma, I think, behind closed doors on both parties' sides, that I think until we start addressing that, I think that we can't really truly come to the table as Black men and Black women to have a conversation and say, okay, hey, this is what I feel, where you're coming up short. This is where I feel where you're coming up short. I think there just needs to be an honest conversation. But I think on the female side, though, it's difficult for us to hear. Well, I won't say hear, I'll say listen. To understand instead of listening to reply. When a Black man is coming to the table and saying how he feels and what his issues are, because our response is always, well, you made me do, or you did, blah, 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 instead of, really taking that in and really listening and understanding. That's something that I'm learning myself now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. That's something that I'm learning myself now, because it's just kind of like an automatic reaction. So, as a Black man yourself, and I know you're already married, but at the same time, you're still a part of, the culture.
Absolutely.
So I'm pretty sure you run into other men who have these issues and just feel like the weight of the world is on their shoulders. So I'm like, what would you say to men that feel like, like they can't win for losing?
Well, I felt that way, in my own marriage. I would say get you a support partner or somebody who you can talk to. Because one thing that I got confused in my mind was, well, I'm not going to a doctor. That's out. We're not doing counseling. That's out. I really don't want to tell my friends, because they're going to tell me kind of a twisted or slanted version of, man, you letting her take over you, or, they're not going to give me the real, you know what I'm saying? But I've been fortunate enough to have about maybe 5 to 6 guys who are also married, who can also understand what I'm talking about. So when I go to them, it's not one of those, man, leave her alone, man, she tripping. They're more set. They're redirecting me back into the marriage. Like, hey, well, what is it that you did? Or I've even had them say, well, she's right. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. And I was like, okay, I can respect it better than when it comes from a friend, somebody who I know is coming from a genuine place. But I would tell that person, find somebody who you can speak to, because men, there are a lot of men on the island by themselves that have no outlet. And again, talking about that pop scenario, when they pop, they gonna pop. And so find somebody who you can talk to. I would say that's the number one thing. It should be your wife. It should be your wife. However, I'm not a proponent of that I have to tell my wife everything. I mean, I think she understands I could come to her with the most important stuff or the stuff that involves our marriage. But I mean, sometimes I need to seek outside counsel. And that's what I'm saying. Find somebody who you can talk to.
Okay. And when we're talking about the Black family unit too, what advice would you give to men who choose to be absent from their families? So mentoring young boys, if you were mentoring men, you know, and feeling like, you know, this is just too much for me. What advice would you give to men that just clock out, you know, of being a family man, like helping him understand the value of being present for your children, for your wife, things of that sort?
Well, I mean, and I kind of deal with guys a little bit. I have to walk them back through their life sometime. You know, all the things that they said that they didn't like about their particular situation with their, you know, parents. I have to smack them in the face and say, look, this is what you're doing to your own. One thing about parenting, and I believe this wholeheartedly, that's the best job that anybody can have as a parent. You are given a child or a body, and your purpose or your responsibility is now to train that child up and make sure that that child has all the tools and stuff to, you know, to do what they need to do. I enjoy my daughter to death. Now, she gets on my nerves sometimes, but I enjoy her. I mean, I said to myself, I wasn't going to be one of those guys that wasn't going to be around or was going to have somebody else raise my child. Because I remember when my mom got a divorce from my dad and then other guys coming in, it was it was hell. It was hell because I didn't like none of them. You know, and then, you know, so then when my mom finally got married again, then she had my little sister. It was kind of like, okay, now we're family again. But I would tell a person, hey, these kids did not ask to be here. It was a hot night of passion, however way it went. They're here now. So, I mean, it's the best job in the world. Take the time to be with your kids because you never know what they're going to, end up growing to. I remember the movie, what's that movie? With the drumline dude, Nick Cannon, when he went to the train station and he was getting ready to graduate and he said, here, I was going to give you this card and I thought long and hard about it, but I decided not to. Man. And his son ended up, you know what I'm saying, going on, you know what I'm saying, going to college, you know what I'm saying, being successful. How did that man feel? He had to feel like crap because I would have. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be involved in our children's life. I mean, we just need to be there.
Yeah. I think it's important too. I know we got only a couple more minutes left in the show, but I think it's important when we're trying to repair the Black family unit to change the narrative of how we're seen, because we see so much negativity. Not all Black men out here are abusive. Not all Black men out here are absent fathers or husbands and living double lives. And not all Black women are bitter or, you know what I'm saying, walking around just angry all the time. But I will caution you also, because one of the biggest things I do see in our culture too is if you cannot work it out, the children should never have to pay for your mistakes.
Absolutely.
Let me tell y'all something. When I got divorced, I used to hunt my husband down and drop the kids off. I should just show up, find out where he had, show up, drop the kids off, and leave, be out. Oh, you're going to spend time with these kids, okay? Right. I don't care if you don't pay a dime in child support. Children don't remember what you buy for them. They remember the time that they spent with you. So and that's why I say it's very important if we're going to not only lift each other up as a community, but especially as a family, to change the narrative. Forget what society is teaching you about not needing your Black man. Because remember, whenever you speak that, you're speaking the same thing about your sons. So forget all of that. We have a responsibility to ourselves and to our children to deal with our own trauma so that we don't become bad or even worse parents than the parents who we had. So, I think that's something that we definitely need to keep in the forefront of our mind. Right. So, man, thanks for chopping it up with me.
Hey, that went by quick.
On the show.
Once I got my groove, But I appreciate the invite.
Well, thank you. So, as y'all know, we might continue these conversations on, the social media version of The Real 2 Cents, as always, because you didn't ask us for it, but we gave it to you anyway. So, this is your girl, Lady J, signing off.